What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Happy Friday, by the way. We're going to be pulling some shards here today in this video for the brand new Summon Rush that just opened right now. The Kro Khad fusion is happening right now. So it's the fragment fusion for the legendary dog. And then we have the Summon Rush active right now in game. Having a quick look at the Summon Rush here, we can kind of see the reward breakdown here is actually not too bad. You can pick up the full 15 fragments split up in 5 and 10 for 3,200 points, which is in line with other fragment point thresholds. So 3,200 points, that's about 6 sacred shards. You can pick up the full 15 here. 7 sacred shards get you the full 15 plus an immortal soulstone. I think that's kind of a decent price if you're going to go for 3,200. Also looking at the higher end rewards here, at 12 sacred shards worth of points, you get the 100 legendary materials. And look at this, guys, 20 sacred shards for 100 mythical mats. Now, if you guys remember the Balar Heroes Path, the 100 mythical mats only cost 13 sacred shards. And I remember people were giving me a hard time saying that I was saying it was a good deal. Well, here you can have it for the cool price of 20 sacred shards. So the 13 sacred shard price for the Balar Heroes Path was particularly good price, at least in a relative sense. Obviously, paying that many sacred shards for a chance at a mythical relic is super expensive. And they also announced that they were going to nerf the Crown of Corruption. So perhaps these mythical mats have been greatly reduced in overall value. Keep in mind that the Chaos event is going to be ending on August 5th. So they're probably going to, last ditch effort to squeeze as much value out of the event as possible to sell you the stuff. So unless you're like a hyper kraken, I probably would stay away from the higher end rewards. Only one mythical book as well, all the way up to 20 sacred shards. Probably not worth it. But let's talk about the early rewards here. And I will say that either going for the 5 and the 15 is not too bad. So if you are going for Kro Khad, you must complete at least 5 fragments from this event, because the entire fusion plan allows you to skip 10 fragments overall. So if you completed every single event up until this point, you can still skip 10 fragments. So quickly here, I'll just pull up the event schedule again for you guys to have a quick look. You can kind of see which event you can kind of skip. Like I said, you can only skip 10 fragments here. If you skip the 10 in the current Summon Rush, you cannot skip any other events. But if you choose to do the 10 in this Summon Rush, then you can have some options, right? You have 10 fragments that you can skip. Perhaps you want to skip the next 2 dungeon divers. That wouldn't be that bad of a choice. Perhaps you want to skip some fragments from the next week's champion chase. Now, I'll give you guys an argument why you probably don't want to skip any points from that champion chase. I mentioned this in my fusion schedule, and that's because a Titan event most likely will overlap a little bit with the champion chase, providing you points in that champion chase. So if you guys are interested in whatever Titan event most likely will happen, I would aim to complete or aim to participate in the champion chase. Keep in mind that next week's champion chase is in line to be 2x voids as well. So void shards with 2x boost is pretty good for a champion chase. So my general strategy for this Summon Rush is I'm going to pull as little shards as possible, especially the big ones. I'm really low on sacred shards on my main account, so I want to start stacking them up and running them a little bit more efficiently. I'm guilty of over pulling very often in events, mainly because obviously I'm a content creator, so it gives me an additional excuse to kind of pull shards just for videos or pull extra shards. But I can definitely run it a little bit tighter. And right now I want to run it a bit tighter so I can save a little bit more shards. So I will be running as few shards as possible on my main account just so I can start stacking up again. So I'll be going for the 5 fragments only. However, I will say that going for the full 15 here is a pretty good price because you only have to pay 6 sacred shards, only about a 50% increase in price, but you're basically getting 3 times the value. So you're getting really good value for your sacred shards, but I think Plarium did this on purpose, again, to entice you to spend the shards here, and then also to basically handcuff you to spend the shards in the back week with the champion chase. So this means that you're pulling shards for this Summon Rush and the champion chase, which you probably don't want to do unless you're absolutely swimming in shards. Or if you really value, saving energy by skipping the dungeon divers, for example. So that's going to be the plan for me. Let's get pulling here. I am on my alt account. My alt account has quite a bit more sacred shards. So I think for this account, I was thinking about pulling the 4 sacred shards I need, but I'm just going to pull 3 here, and I'm going to pull 500 mystery shards to finish it up. Now, in the last day of the summon rush, there is a champion training tournament, or champion training, yes, tournament. So you guys can process additional food from the mystery shards and stuff like that. I need some additional food, so pulling the mystery shards makes sense for me. So I'll wait until the last day of the summon rush to pull the 500 mystery shards, or 550 mystery shards. But on both accounts, I'll be pulling with the same strategy. I'm only going to be pulling 3 sacred shards, just so I can conserve some of my sacred shards. Now, we do have a progressive event happening right now. Pretty good champions in this progressive event, but none that I really need. Like, I would love Kro on both accounts. So I'm going to go for that. And I'm going to go for the multiple +4 Ugos. But I'm only going to pull 3 sacred shards, and then the rest will be mystery shards. And we will look towards participating in the champion chase in the back half of the week, next week. Let's get started here. We got 3 to go. Best of luck. I think I'm pretty fresh off Mercy or anything, so I'm not expecting to pull any Legos. But honestly, this is the healthiest approach. Don't expect to pull any Legos. Just expect that this is the price you get to pay so that you can complete the fusion. That's about it. Magnar, very good epic, still hits super hard when he gets the double hit off on his AoE. Good DPS for the Demon Spawn faction. And no... There we go. We got the progressive, no Lego, but we got the progressive Ugo here. He's going to go into the +4 for my Ugos, and we'll focus on the mystery shards in a couple days. So that's going to be it for the alt. Let's jump over to the main account and we'll do the pulls there as well. All right, guys, same strategy on this account. I'm going to be pulling only 3 sacred shards and the rest will be mystery shards. Now, I will say if your main goal is to just complete the fusion and you're super low on shards, it's probably not a bad idea to heavily consider going for this 3200 threshold because it's going to save you a bunch of effort for the champion chase. So if you don't care about any kind of like potential event that's attached to that champion chase next week, then maybe consider the 3200 full 15 fragments here. Because for the price of an additional 2 sacred shards, you're basically saving 2/3 of a champion chase, which is for sure a good deal in terms of overall shard spend, especially if you don't care about any kind of additional event, because that's what I'm really speculating on, is that there's probably an additional event attached to the champion chase. And like I said, it is 2x voids. 2x voids always going to be fun, and I have a bunch of void shards as well, so that's what I'm going to be looking forward to be pulling. But let's get started here. We got 3 sacred shards and a dream of Kro Khad. Let's go here. But yeah, definitely consider the 3200 threshold, guys, if you guys are pulling with very low resources and you guys only care about doing the fusion. It's a good price. It's a good price, but I think Plarium definitely set it to be very attractive. So that, yeah, it makes you guys really consider. Hey, and we got our progressive event epic, or a progressive epic on both accounts. There we go. Hey, it works. And our last sacred shard pull on this account. And no Lego. I mean, that's super expected here. We got some really good epics though. Deacon Armstrong as well, +4. And we'll save the last sacred shard here for this account. And yeah, we'll start stacking them up. Anyways, guys, like I said, this summon rush, very enticing to go for the full 15. But like I said, if you don't get a lot of value from skipping 2 events, like 2 dungeon divers, and if you want to participate in potentially a Titan event that might be attached to next week's champion chase, then I would probably consider just going for the 5 here, skipping the 10, even though it's a good price, and then just focusing on next week's champion chase instead. But if getting the 10 fragments here at a good price, and then skipping, for example, 2 dungeon divers, and then still participating in the champion chase, that could be an option for you if you have lots of shards. Or perhaps you just have a lot of sacred shards, and then getting the 15 in the summon rush is a good deal, but you don't have a lot of any other shards and you don't care about the Titan event, then going for the 3200 might make sense to you too. So it's a little bit tricky. It depends on what resources you have in your stash right now and what you value the most. Completing the fusion, or completing the fusion plus the Titan event, or saving gems, saving energy, or saving shards. It really depends what your goals are, what resources you have. So hopefully I gave you guys a little bit of an idea on what you guys can do. Best of luck on your pulls. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments below what your plans are. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next video.